Hi, YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere. It's MargaretGeorgeTune.com. I'm back with another Monday Morning Mailbag. Get yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, relax. Let's talk a little wet shaving and a few other things. What do you got this morning? Well, I got a really great coffee that we featured once before on the Monday Morning Mailbag. Hang on, let me get a sip. Yeah, that is really, really good. Courtesy of viewer William Meredith. Once more, here it is. Ellis Coffee's Philadelphia Roast. Yeah, how about that? Absolutely fantastic. This is a really, really wonderful, flavorful cup of coffee. It's ground coffee and family roasted since 1854. I love the artwork. There is a very iconic boxer, Yo Adrian, right there on the front of the package. And also this delightful cartoon caricature of I would assume, a young Mr. Ellis when he founded this coffee company. Or actually, he bought the coffee company after it was founded. Yeah, John Ellis. He purchased the 54-year-old coffee importing company he worked for. He renamed it after himself, etc. It's right there on the back label. We've talked about this before in the Monday Morning Mailbag. This is really, really a terrific, terrific coffee. I can't see. This is, oh yeah, here it is right here. It's medium dark right here. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is really, really very, very good. And of course, William also sent along a wonderful City of Philadelphia mug right here that we used with that coffee originally, because you can't drink Philadelphia coffee unless you got a Philadelphia mug. But this time around, I thought I'd use the Monday Morning Mailbag coffee mug because of this delightful artwork on the back there. I just love that caricature of a young John Ellis as he founds the Ellis Coffee Company. How about that? And of course, being a cartoonist, I like to kind of compare the styles and that sort of thing side by side. So that's why we're using the Monday Morning Mailbag cartoon coffee mug featuring George. Wow, absolutely fantastic. One more sip. Hang on. Wow, that's absolutely great. And it's on the back of the coffee mug. Now, this is the 11-ounce coffee mug. We also have this in 15 ounces. We'll link it below so you can get your very, very own. As it says on the back of the coffee mug right there, right? A good hot coffee, a trusty mug. Let the caffeine go to work, gentlemen. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one more sip. This is really good coffee. Really, really good. And hey, if you're taking me along on your morning commute this morning, thanks very much for the lift. Really do appreciate that. If you're tuning into the podcast, thanks very, very much for listening in on all those great streaming platforms that are out there, like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, that kind of thing. So that's always a welcome. How do I want to say it? That's always welcome that you tune in. If you can't make it for the video broadcast, the audio podcast broadcast is available, and it's great that you're able to do that. So thank you very, very much for that. Really, really appreciate it. That's what I wanted to say. So, hey, an absolutely great show for you this morning. Let me get my notes here. What do we got going on? We got a great viewer shaving tip this morning. We've got some great shave den visits. We've got all those great reminders for you. And we got some refill comments. We've got a lot of great new wet shaving gear this morning to share with you. And we also have some great questions and comments based on the previous content that we ran here on the Monday Morning Mailbag. So really, really great to be with you. We're just kind of kicking it off right away. You can see I got a pullover on right here. It is getting warmer. At the time I'm recording this, it's about 60 degrees, and it's been raining and, on and off. And then I think we're going to get snow in a few more days. That's April in Northeast Ohio. And as I've mentioned before, check out April 18th. That's my late brother Jay's birthday. We always get snow right around his birthday, a few days before, a few days after, give or take a couple of days before or after the April 18th. But we always get snow. It might not stick to the ground, but there will be snow in the air. So if you live in Northeast Ohio, hold me to that. It always happens every year, give or take a couple of days before or after his birthday. April 18th, just so you know. We might get some snow. It'll get really, really warm, and all of a sudden it'll get cold, and we'll get snow. Never fails. I don't know. Now that I'm talking about it, maybe it'll fail this year. I don't know. We'll see. So great to be with you this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. Hey, let's get the show kicked off like we do every week with a viewer morning shaving tip. Well, this morning's shaving tip comes from viewer Robert of the American Vintage Soap Company. Now, we have recently reviewed the final shaving cream and talked about this on previous Monday Morning Mailbags. Again, the review ran, I think, last Wednesday, I think. Boy, this is terrific, terrific stuff. And again, it kind of has a clumpy, kind of flaky kind of consistency for a shaving cream, kind of closer to a Crope. Give or take a little bit of consistency, so to speak, but it dissolves very, very quickly and makes heaps and heaps of lather. And Robert's tip involves the final shaving cream and also these wonderful ramekins that he offered at the American Vintage Soap Company storefront. These were terrific. You can drop a puck of soap in there, but this morning's shaving tip involves the ramekin and the final shaving cream. So let's get right to it. He writes, "Good afternoon, Mark. I thought you might find this interesting. As you can see in the photos provided, I've added the final shaving cream to one of my shaving ramekins, like the one you graciously bought previously. I then pressed it down as compactly as possible, then took a wet spoon and using the back of it, smoothed it out and further compacted it. Now I have a very pleasing face lathering ramekin of the final shaving cream. I have been mulling over bringing the ramekins back to the storefront after discovering this. Perhaps this could be a wet shaving tip of sorts for the Monday Morning Mailbag or something like that. However, if it does end up making it as a shaving tip, I would like to pass the signed George sketch opportunity to another viewer, as you have already given so much to me via your videos, and would like a viewer that does not have a sketch to get one. Hope you have a great week as always, and thank you as always, Robert at the American Vintage Soap Company." Robert, thanks very, very much for a fantastic, fantastic shaving tip. It sounds like it could also be applied to some other Cropes that you might have in your shaving den, but this one is specifically for the final shaving cream because of that, again, that kind of crumbly, flaky consistency. But if you scoop this out and really, really just press it into the bottom of a ramekin using the method that Robert described, then you've got something for face lathering. And I like face lathering. As a matter of fact, that's how I started my wet shaving journey before I was converted to a bowl latherer. But once in a while, as you know, I like to come back to face lathering. To try out a new brush or to enjoy a new brush or, that sort of thing. Tabak is a great face lathering shave soap. And I started out with Tabak. That was a big game changer for me and did a lot of face lathering with Tabak. And this is a great throwback to that kind of method. And it's one I am definitely going to try. And it'll be a nice change of pace in the shave den to do some face lathering with the final shaving cream, just pressing into the bottom of the ramekin and, loading up that brush and doing a great face lather. Because, again, this makes a great, great lather. And I think this method will lend itself very, very well to face lathering. So, Robert, thank you very, very much for that shaving tip. And regarding passing the signed George sketch opportunity onto another viewer, I will gladly do that. I just don't know how to select that viewer. So if anyone out there has a method by which I can fairly select a new recipient for the George sketch, please comment below and let us know. And if we come across a good, fair method of doing that, then we'll update everyone on an upcoming Monday Morning Mailbag and show the signed sketch and the individual who will receive it and that sort of thing. And so that's very, very kind of you, Robert. Thank you very, very much for doing that. So again, comment below and let me know how to go about fairly selecting a new recipient for a George sketch. But in the meantime, if you would like an original signed George sketch, all you have to do is email me a shaving tip. Email that shaving tip to mondaymailbag@gmail.com, mondaymailbag@gmail.com. And if I use it here on the Viewer Morning Shaving Tips segment of the Monday Morning Mailbag, you too will receive an original signed George sketch. So Robert, thanks again for a really, really terrific shaving tip. Really do appreciate it. Okay, it's time for a Shave Den visit.
Grab your favorite shave soap, whip it up, rich and creamy, fill your cup, boom, lather. Hot towel ready, face feels prime, a classic shave, so smooth, so fine. 30 degrees, a light touch, let the razor do the work, no need to rush. Shave like a pro, close and neat. A shave so smooth it can't be beat. Slap on your favorite splash, feel that glow. Shave complete, now you're ready to go. Oh, boom, shave complete, you're ready to go.
Well, we've got a couple of Shave Den visits for you this morning. First up, something from viewer Chris Borob, who writes, "Hi Mark, you know how I enjoy having some of my razors anodized. Here are the latest 3 I have had done at EDC Specialties in California." Now their website is edcspecialties.com. Once more, I'll give that to you, edcspecialties.com. And from the photos and the videos that we're showing you right here, they do spectacular work. These are absolutely gorgeous. My gosh, those look wonderful. And the one thing that this anodizing does, from what I can see, is that knurling, the knurling on the handles just pops. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. My goodness. Absolutely spectacular looking razors, Chris. Thanks so much for sending along the photos and the videos and sharing these with all the viewers out there. Again, folks, he had this work done by EDC Specialties in California. Once more, their website, edcspecialties.com. We'll make sure to have their link below in the description. Chris, thanks again very, very much. Next up, we've got something from Jim from Northfield, James Gazda, who writes, "Hey Mark, I just wanted to share my latest acquisitions. The razor kit is from the 1960s. It's from Germany. It's in excellent condition with new old stock Palmolive bar soap, travel board brush, German travel 3-piece razor, shave soap stick, Persona blade pack, and even a travel size aftershave splash. All are unused except the razor and blades. The other is a 1920 Gillette single ring razor and case. It came with original instructions and even the price tag. It's in excellent condition with no cracks nor bent teeth. Best of all, I only paid less than $56 for both sets. As always, right place, right time. Thanks, Jim." Wow, those are both spectacular. And to get that vintage 1920 Gillette single ring razor with no cracks in the handle and no bent teeth, wow, that is an absolutely spectacular find. But they're both spectacular finds. My goodness. Again, Jim hitting it out of the park with finding these great, great vintage razors. Wherever he's finding them. I'm not sure if they're online or in a local antique store or wherever he's getting them, but he's getting them at great prices. And again, this is a great example of doing a little bit of homework, doing a little bit of research, knowing what you're going to be looking for and knowing what you're getting. And my gosh, you can walk away with some really, really wonderful vintage shaving gear in wonderful condition. At some really, really nice price points. So Jim, thanks very much for sharing that with everyone this morning. And a big thank you to Chris for sharing his razor reworks this morning. Really do appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you so very, very much. Hey folks, if you've got some Shave Den gear or anything in your shave den that you would like to share with all the other viewers, all you got to do is just send some photos and a brief explanation. We'll share it here on the Monday Morning Mailbag. Just send that to mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and we'll share it with all the viewers out there. So again, Chris, James, thanks again very, very much. Well, here's your reminder that the channel now has AutoDub technology, courtesy of YouTube and Google. All you have to do is select your favorite language, Italian, German, Portuguese, Spanish, or French, and you'll see this program and other videos on this channel translated into those languages on the fly in real time. Now, how do you do this? All you got to do is look in the lower right of the video screen there. You'll see a little gear. Hit that gear and a menu will pop up. And from there, you can select the language of your choice, Italian, German, Portuguese, Spanish, or French. And this video and all the other videos on this channel will instantly be translated. You'll hear the audio in those languages in real time on the fly. Pretty amazing. AutoDub, check it out. Well, here's your weekly reminder that the Monday Morning Mailbag is also available as a podcast. Simply get up to your favorite streaming service and search for Monday Morning Mailbag and more, Monday Morning Mailbag and more, and the Monday Morning Mailbag podcast, as well as our other podcast, Second Cup, will come right up. Both of those podcasts are available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, and now iHeartRadio. Well, it's right around the corner. Maggard Razors is hosting their 8th annual wet shaving meetup on April 26, 2025 from 12 noon to 5 p.m. at 124 South Winter Street, Adrian, Michigan 49221. Tickets are $35. We'll have a link to the page where you can get all the information regarding the meetup and also get a ticket for yourself. Confirmed vendors are Above the Tie, Ariana and Evans, Barrister and Mann, Blackland, Katie's Bubbles, Henri et Victoria, Shannon Soaps, Sterling Soap Company, Through the Fire Fine Crafts, Timeless Razors, Holy Call, Wolf Whiskers, and Zingari Man. So check your calendars. April 26th, coming up real soon from 12 noon to 5 p.m., the 8th annual Maggard Razors Wet Shaving Meetup in Adrian, Michigan. Tickets are $35. We'll have a link below where you can get a ticket and get additional information. I've got my ticket. Hope to see you there. Well, what do you know? Coffee's getting low. That time of the show. Let's go back for a refill. Well, I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. I hope you went back for a refill. I sure did. Hang on, one more sip. Yeah, that's a good one. That really is good. It's a medium dark roast. Yeah, this is from Ellis Coffee Company, Philadelphia roast, courtesy of viewer William Meredith. William, thank you again very, very much. This is a great tasting coffee, and it celebrates the city of Philadelphia, and there's one of their favorite sons right there on the label, Yo Adrian, Rocky himself. And again, I love the artwork, especially the caricature, the cartoon drawing of a very young John Ellis, I would assume, as he founds his coffee company, the Ellis Coffee Company. How about that? Yeah, really terrific, and a great tasting coffee. If you like medium to medium dark roast coffee, this is a good one. Really terrific, and a big thank you to William Meredith this morning for sending this one along to the channel. Really delightful. And again, we're using a Monday Morning Mailbag coffee mug. There's George, our logo from the Monday Morning Mailbag program that you see in the beginning and on the back. A good hot coffee, a trusty mug. Let the caffeine go to work, gentlemen, right there on the back of the mug. This is the 11 ounce. This is the 11 ounce mug. We also have a 15 ounce mug available, and we will link the storefront where you can check out this mug and a few other designs that we have up there. And if you happen to have a Monday Morning Mailbag coffee mug or any of the coffee mugs that we offer up there, snap a picture of yourself with the coffee mug, send it in, and we'll share it here on the Monday Morning Mailbag as part of the George Monday Morning Mailbag Coffee Mug Club photo gallery. There you go. So again, there it is right there, the Monday Morning Mailbag coffee mug, the official Monday Morning Mailbag coffee mug. There it is. Okay, one more sip. Okay. I gotta wet my whistle in order to get the words and letters to kind of roll out with a little bit of ease. Yeah, so great to be with you this morning. We got some great comments in the refill section here. Let's kick it off with something from Robert Seals 9148, who writes, an awesome 3MB as always. Interesting segment regarding alum blocks. Since I'm relatively new to wet shaving, started my journey in late August, early September last year, I've only purchased one alum block, the solid alum block from Phoenix Shaving, and it's still going strong. The rubber band doesn't fit around it anymore, so I am trying to be careful and not drop it and shatter it into a million pieces. Also, thank you for selecting my shave of the day tip for today's shave tip. I thought it would be wonderful to share how I manage my collection of gear to help keep it organized. Have a great week. Go Buckeyes. Yeah, go Buckeyes. Before you know it, it'll be college football season again. Really, I know this is April. It comes on us that quickly. No kidding. So yeah, go Buckeyes. Thanks very much for that, Robert. And thanks for a great shaving tip that we featured last week. Folks, if you missed it, check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag, a really, really useful tip in helping to organize your soaps and shave soaps and that kind of thing, and get a shave with 1 cent from beginning to end. Yeah, it was a really, really terrific tip. So Robert, thanks very, very much for the very, very kind words, and was more than happy to use your shaving tip. It was a good one. Thanks very, very much. And I'm glad that you're using a solid alum block. We had that discussion last week again. And just briefly, if you're new to the wet shave and you're going to use an alum block, try to get a solid alum block. It's a little better than the compressed molded alum blocks, which are good, but a solid alum block is smoother, and I think it'll be a little easier as you begin your wet shave journey. Let's just put it that way. So, Robert, thanks again very, very much. Jimmy V Photography. Hi, Jimmy. How are you? He writes, wow, love that song and image. Boom lather. Great job, Mark Vernick. Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. We debuted it last week. This is a song that we'll be using to introduce the Shave Den visits, the Boom Lather song that Mark Vernick created for the show. Thank you again, Mark. Really, really do appreciate it. It's wonderful. And Jimmy goes on to say here, love the Easter eggs. Yeah, that was the Easter eggs on the labels of the Mully Shaves shaving soaps. Check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag if you missed that. That's part of the Shave Den visit segment, I believe. Yeah, that was really neat. Mully checked in all the way from Japan, sent in a video explaining all those Easter eggs on those labels. So check that out. That was really interesting and a lot of fun too, with Easter right around the corner. Solid alum is the way. They last a long, long time. I agree. They really, really do. Although I think the compressed or molded alum block that Phoenix Shaving offered for a while there, that lasted a good long time too. But yes, I think generally speaking, solid alum blocks are superior. They last a long time. They really, really do. Jax is too pretty to use. This is from Van Ulay and Shave Dad, the homage to Cracker Jack. My gosh, Monica Gillum did a fantastic job with it. And wet shavers are buying 2 tubs, one to use and one to display, because when you open it up, it looks exactly like the shave soap, looks exactly like Cracker Jack. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Outstanding advice about leaving that razor at home. People borrow things, and that is something you really don't want to lose. This was last week. Al Spencer shared with us that he's gifting his grandson for his birthday this beautiful Gillette Heritage razor. And my advice was when your grandson goes to college, when he turns 18, he goes to college, keep that razor at home. It could wind up missing in the dorms, that sort of thing. Take something a little more affordable that still gives you a good shave, like a Pearl L55 for like $15, or any number of razors that we've talked about that offer a good shave, but are plentiful to where if you lose them, no great loss. You can always, lay down another $15, $20 to buy a replacement. But the Gillette Heritage razor, which I can't find online anymore, is something of a collector's item now. And because it's coming from Al, his grandson, the grandfather to the grandson. Okay, this is Al's grandson. It's coming from the grandfather to the grandson. You don't want to lose that razor. So don't take it to college with you. Absolutely. Laugh out loud at the last laugh. Yeah, that was a good one last week. Check it out. I may have jumped the gun a little bit because I'm talking about, it's the last snowflake of winter. Check out that. I had a lot of fun drawing that up when I originally drew it up, but I may have jumped the gun because I'm talking about how we're going to have snow here right around April 18th. So maybe I should have waited with that particular comic strip. Maybe wait till the end of April to run that one. But yeah, I really enjoyed drawing that one up, and I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Jimmy. Thanks so much for the great comments. Really, really do appreciate it. Hey, Bill Murphy checked in and he wrote, great video, Mark. Love the Shave Den intro. Yeah, again, kudos to Mark Vernick. That was really fantastic. Wish I had the talent to do that. Love the Stooges episode with the alum and the episode where Curly shaves the ice. I forgot about that one. That's a funny one too. Looking forward to Doppelganger Continuum 2. Now, this was launched this past Saturday, so check it out. The great thing about the Continuum series is that not only you get these homages to great scents, but you also get the history and background on these scents that Doug Fran Huxley and everyone at Phoenix Shaving are bringing back to the wet shaving community. That is what is so attractive. So Doppelganger Continuum number 2. Check that out. We talked about it last week. The review ran on Friday, so check it out. It really is wonderful, and of course it's CK6 which just lathers a treat. And Al continues here. Thanks for showing my bowl and Old Spice. Have a wonderful week. Well, thank you very much for sending it in, Bill. Really, really do appreciate it. And stay tuned because we've got something related to that bowl coming up. Absolutely. Rob Miller wrote, good morning, Mark. Great show as usual. Hope your week is awesome. Love the Boom Lather song. Yeah, again, a lot of folks responded very positively to that song. Thanks again to Mark Vernick. Really, really terrific addition to the show. So, Rob, so glad you enjoyed it. And I was just absolutely floored when I saw it. I said, this has got to be in the show every week. It's really, really terrific. So thanks again to Mark Vernick. Beth Jones checked in. Good morning, Mark. Great 3MB as always. Heads up to anyone interested in the Paul Silver razor blades. The razor company has them available on their website, but I do not know how long they will be available. Thank you so much, Mark, and have a great rest of the week. Beth, thank you very much for the heads up on this. Folks, we're including this on this morning's show. I don't know if they'll still be available by the time this airs, but we're giving you a heads up. So get on over to the razor company, and hopefully they'll still be available. If you've never tried a Paul Silver razor blade, they're worth giving a go. Absolutely. Beth, thank you very, very much for that. Really do appreciate that. Mully Shaves checks in. This is Colonel Mully, Jim Mullins, all the way from Japan. Thanks for showing my Easter eggs video, Mark. Also, I really want to try the goat razor from Razor Rock. Like I need another razor, ha 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 ha. Yeah, last week's show we had a great review on the goat razor by Razor Rock from J Tech and X. Again, thanks to Jay for sending in that review and breaking it all down for us. Looks like an absolutely splendid razor, very reminiscent of the Henson design. You know what? Check out last week's Monday Morning Mailbag if you missed that review. It really was a wonderful, thorough review on the GOAT razor, greatest of all time. GOAT razor from Razor Rock. And I can understand why Mully, wants another razor. He needs one. He doesn't need one, but he needs one. This is really an attractive razor. So check out the review. So, hey, Mully, thanks very much for that. Really do appreciate it. Rod Sloan, 706, wrote, Melbourne. Oh, hey, this is Rod from Down Under. Melbourne, autumn just starting to creep in down here. Excellent 3MB, Mark. Again, looking forward to your Phoenix Shaving Doppelganger Continuum 2 review. And, probably purchasing it too. Well and truly down the rabbit hole. Love that wee review on the Cerberus razor. That's Cerberus razor. I sometimes mess up the pronunciation of that. Yeah, the Cerberus razor by Yaqi. Check that out last week if you missed it. And again, the Doppelganger Continuum 2 review was this past Friday, so check that out. And Rod, if you acquire Doppelganger Continuum 2, please send in your thoughts and a review of it. Would really, really be interested in hearing that, as will all the other viewers. So thanks very much for that. And hi to everyone down under in Melbourne, and enjoy the autumn season that is just starting down there. This comes from Odin Arcade 00. Nice podcast today, Mark. I received the Cyber Razor Mild last week and finally used it the other day. It's a nice, smooth, fixed angle shave, similar to a Henson mild shave, and it's only $40. I got the super knurl handle, and I think it's going to become one of my favorite razors in my den. I also recommend Razor Rock Nomad Shaving Soap. Cheers. See you next week. Well, thanks for the recommendation on the shave soap. We'll give that to you again, folks. Razor Rock Nomad Shaving Soap. Now, if you missed the review of the Cyber Razor by Razor Rock, that was done by viewer Keith Osmond. I think that was on the Monday Morning Mailbag for March 24th. So check out that review. Yeah, it was another great review from a viewer regarding a Razor Rock razor. So 2 great Razor Rock reviews in a week. So Odin Arcade 00. Thanks very much for confirming how great the razor is, and also for recommending Razor Rock Nomad Shaving Soap. Really do appreciate it. Thanks again. This comes from Mike H. 9701. Hi, Mark. Great Monday morning mailbag. Thank you. Fantastic segments throughout the video, as always. The Razor Rock Goat Razor does look quite nice, as does the Razor Emporium aluminum prototype. There's almost always something new available or in the pipeline for us to consider. Have a wonderful start to the week, and best regards as always, Mark. Yeah, Mike, you are absolutely correct. It's a great time to be doing the traditional wet shave because there is so much available. Again, the Razor Rock Goat, the Razor Rock Cyber, and Razor Emporium or Rex Supply, Razor Emporium / Rex Supply has a new razor that they are launching called the Page. The naming convention is similar to, it kind of aligns with the Ambassador, the Sentry, the Consul, because these are all titles within an embassy office building. You have a Consul, you have an Ambassador, you have a Sentry, and you have an Envoy, and you have a Page. So the Page kind of brings up that last office, so to speak, in an embassy. And Matt talked about that. We linked to that video. We'll try to get a link again for that video below where you can see it, but that's another razor that Razor Emporium / Rex Supply is going to be launching, the Page. And I believe it's an aluminum razor, so check that out. And Mike, you are correct. There is just so much available, a great time to be doing the traditional wet shave. RSM just wrote, Boom Lather, and I'm assuming that's an endorsement of the Boom Lather song that introduces the Shave Den Visit segment now. So thanks very much for that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here. Robert from American Vintage Soap Company wrote, thank you as always, Mark. Have a great week. This was in regards to the review that we ran last Wednesday. Check it out again on the final shaving cream and its performance. Really, really terrific. So, Robert, thank you very much for that comment. Dan Blackshear wrote, great shave and glad you liked the bowl. I still love mine. Have a great week. Yeah, that wonderful, wonderful 3D printed shave bowl that we used. Fantastic lather that bowl helped create. Again, I believe that was in the final shaving cream review that ran this past Wednesday. I believe, if I recall correctly. Mr. ZB18 wrote, the fact that a few crumbs of the shave cream can build that thick and stable of a lather, I would not change it. Now, we asked for feedback and input regarding the consistency of the shave cream here. And Mr. ZB18 says, hey, keep it the way it is. It's fantastic. It really is. Mike Parit wrote, a nice shave. I haven't used this, but I would keep it as it is. That lather looked awesome. It was an awesome lather. Again, Robert, if you're listening, another vote to keep it the way it is. Mike H. wrote, hi, Mark. Great shave and shaving cream review. Thank you. The texture of the soap seems surmountable since it dissolves easily when it is wet and then builds a terrific and stable lather. Have a fantastic rest of the week and best regards as always, Mark. Yeah, great points, Mark. Great points, Mike, because, yeah, great points, Mike. Very stable lather. Dissolves quickly, builds heaps of lather. Yeah, this is a great recipe. This is a really unusual consistency, but you get such a great result. Bill Murphy wrote regarding the final shaving cream review. We're sharing these with because of Robert's shaving tip and talking about it. Great review, Mark. That cream sounds fantastic. I would give it a try. Not sure of the scent, but I do love cinnamon scent. I do not care what the consistency is as long as the lather is great. Have a wonderful rest of the week, Mark. Yeah. Now, I like the cinnamon and the eucalyptus going on in there. I like that a lot. You know what? Your mileage may vary. They also offer it in the Omega scent. So check out the page. We'll link it below. James Sefton wrote, the flakes of the soap reminds me of the lard pie crust that my grandma and my mom used to make when I was a kid. Again, these great family connections through the traditional wet shave, this one through the final shaving cream. James, thanks very much for sharing that. Really do appreciate it. And this comes from Got to Be Crazy. I forgot about the Alpha Shave Cream. Haha, I will take it out. I remember it performed good. Just received my Carved Bison Lime Green Razor. Great razor. Wow, that's great to hear. Check out that razor with this shave cream. Yeah, Carved makes a wonderful, wonderful aluminum razor in the Bison razor. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And a big thank you to viewer Matt Panter for very kindly sending one of those to the channel. We've been talking about it. It's a fantastic razor. We did a comparison video, kind of like a shave showdown between the Carved Bison and the Henson mild razor. So if you missed that razor, if you missed that review, just do a search for it on the channel and it should come right up. So just put in Shave Showdown, Henson, Bison, and it should come right up. So yeah, I'm so glad that you got a Carved Bison. It really is a terrific, terrific razor. And thank you again once more to Matt Panter for very kindly sending it along to the channel. And that wraps up this week's refill segment. My thanks to everyone who contributed. Really do appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Okay, let's check out some new wet shaving gear. Well, this morning, this review comes from viewer David Dart regarding the Spot Prints 3D Lathering Bowl that we talked about in a recent Monday Morning Mailbag. And David writes, Mark, good morning, sir. Yet another great Monday Morning Mailbag packed with awesome gear and loads of info. I own 2 Spot Prints 3D Lathering Bowls. The first one I bought is the purple, pink, and blue one. I loved it so much that I had Peter make me the black with white and orange stripes, Harley Davidson colors. Peter can make you pretty much anything you can think of. The signs are not too high as to where your brush will bang on them, but high enough to hold plenty of lather. I met Peter at the GTA Meetup, and he held a bowl out at arm's length and dropped it. His point was that if you drop it, it's not going to break. And at around $50 Canadian, they are priced pretty good for a product that will last you a lifetime and beyond. You might have to put it in your will, laugh out loud. Have a great day. Hey, David, thanks very, very much for a great review on these wonderful 3D printed lathering bowls from Spot Prints. Folks, we'll have a link below where you can check out these bowls and get yourself one. And I believe Peter can customize these as well, as we will find out in the next segment. So, David, thanks very, very much for a great review on these wonderful 3D printed lathering bowls from Spot Prints. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, this item and review came from Bill and Connie Murphy. Bill, Connie, thank you very, very much. And again, it involves Spot Prints 3D printed bowls. And as David Dart mentioned just previously, Peter at Spot Prints can pretty much do anything customizable. Well, how right David was, and you'll see Bill confirmed this as well. Get ready. This was spectacular. Again, this came from Bill and Connie Murphy. Bill writes, Mark, I found a person on Etsy that did 3D printed bowls and noticed he did custom bowls. So I contacted him and he agreed to make a George bowl. Well, the next day he sent me an email stating that he was no longer doing 3D printing and suggested Peter Despotas, I think I pronounced that right, Peter Despotas at Spot Prints. That's Despotas. Despotas at Spot Prints. I hope I pronounced that right. Peter Despotas at Spot Prints. I ordered and received a bowl from him as earlier stated in this email. I asked if he could do a custom bowl with George, and he agreed to one. I sent him a screen capture using the George sweatshirt. I requested the blue and yellow or gold color scheme, and Peter did the rest. The bowl looks fantastic. For me, it would be perfect if it was a little deeper. The George bowl is one of a kind. Absolutely. Looking at his Instagram page, I'm getting ideas for a custom bowl for myself if he can make it a little deeper. Maybe with my old Air National Guard unit badge or something from a favorite TV show or movie. Just watch out for the lather running over the bowl. Glad you love it. Have an outstanding week. And again, that came from Bill and Connie Murphy. And Bill, thank you for your service. You saw the photos. Here it is in person. An absolutely spectacular custom-made bowl from Spot Prints, from Peter at Spot Prints. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And the boom lather is raised. That's raised. You can feel it right there. Boom lather. And check out the interior design, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, yeah, I don't know. I think the depth is fine. Fits in the hand very, very well. I think when I do the review, because I've used it already once and kind of take it for a test drive. And I think it was fine. Probably in my review, I'm going to have to hold it a little more level because kicking it over to the side here, yeah, the lather might run out, but that's true of a lot of shaving bowls that we have in the shave den that are about this depth. I think they contain the lather just fine as long as you're not turning it out its side too much. And again, boom lather on the interior right there and on the back right there. Boom lather with George. How about that? That is absolutely amazing. Peter does some amazing, amazing work. So if you're looking for a customized 3D printed lathering bowl, check out Spot Prints and talk to Peter. As David said, and as Bill has shown, he can pretty much do anything. I mean, this is amazing. And a big, big thank you and heartfelt appreciation go out to Bill and Connie Murphy, for very kindly and generously sending this to the channel. I'm really, really flattered and honored by this. This is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful keepsake. It's a wonderful, wonderful addition to the Shave Den. We're going to get a review done on it. And again, if you have something in mind for yourself, a customized lathering bowl, check out Spot Prints Talk to Peter. And as David and Bill both said, he can make it happen. So again, a big, big thank you to Bill and Connie Murphy for very kindly and generously sending along this George lathering bowl. Absolutely fantastic. Boom lather. Thanks again very, very much. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, in a previous Monday morning mailbag, we talked about the Blackland rectangular razor, also known as Blackland Batch 002. Well, viewer Steve Maffey acquired one, and he sent in the following review. Blackland Batch 002, review by Steve Maffey. Presentation. My review of the Blackland Batch 002 starts with the presentation of the packaging. The razor was placed in a bubble wrap sleeve, then surrounded in black tissue paper held closed with the Blackland sticker. I was disappointed in that I expected at least a simple box or possibly even a basic soap dish from the dollar store. I have not tried to see if it would fit in such a container, but I think it would. Blackland could have placed the sticker on the lid to complete the packaging. I prefer to keep the cost down and would not want to pay for anything too elaborate, but with little effort, I think it could have been much nicer. Background. Nevertheless, the most important aspect is how did it shave? I used this razor for 7 consecutive daily shaves to really get a decent feel for it. I will include a picture of the products I used while evaluating my new addition to the razor collection. I have been a wet shaver since July 2016 and have experience with many types of razors, from straights, shavettes, DEs, SEs, ACs, injectors, gems, enders, Durhams, rolls, etc. Design. The top cap is held with magnets. The center pin passes through the base plate. You just press the pin and the cap comes off. It holds in place firmly during shaving and is a nice design. The razor uses half DE blades and it is easy to load. I had no problems with alignment and used one of my favorite blades, Bolzano. Use and performance. The razor form factor was not as comfortable in the hand as I thought it would be. I expected to hold it like a foil design electric razor with my fingers wrapped around the rectangular shape, but it really didn't work well for me this way. I mostly placed my thumb on one of the vertical surfaces and my index finger with middle fingers on the other. You really can't use the weight of the razor for the shave, and I found you need to be careful not to apply too much force while getting used to the ergonomics of the grip. Because the width of the complete razor is the length of the DE blade from the head down to the bottom of the razor, I found it a bit more difficult to shave under the nose than more traditional handle designs. I have received good shaves during the 7 times I used it, but found I need to be careful or I can nick myself. There is a learning curve. My biggest issue with this razor is the finish. The razor has water stains all over it from just being wet during shaving. They do not seem to rub off, and I am reluctant to use polish. After every shave, I have wiped the razor dry, but the dark water spots do not go away. I also used alum on my fingers to better grip the razor, and the finish also seems discolored where I held it. I am open to view suggestions to remove these blemishes. See the images included. Conclusion. Overall, I applaud Blackland for trying something unique, and the more I use the razor, the better the shave. It takes a bit to get used to holding it. In my opinion, the type of finish has issues, and the packaging should be brought up a notch. I am happy to have it in my den. and I look forward to future Blackland offerings. Well, that comes from Steve Maffey. Steve, that's an absolutely wonderful, well-balanced review of this rectangular razor, also known as Blackland Batch 002. It looks very, very unique, and I would suspect there is a learning curve. And I think if I had this razor, I would want to wrap my hand around it much like a rectangular electric foil razor as you did. That just seems to be the instinctive thing to do with this particular razor. But it sounds really neat, it sounds different, and it sounds like it's a really terrific addition to the shave den, even though it has some issues with the finish perhaps. And I'm sure the viewers out there will give you some tips on how to clear that up. And even though there's a bit of a learning curve to using it, being such a unique design, I would also expect that as well. So Steve, thanks again for a really, really terrific review of what I call the Blackland rectangular razor, what they call the Blackland Batch 002. We'll try to get a link below if it's still available. Steve, thanks again very, very much. Well, this is a quick reminder that Supply is launching tomorrow, April 8th. Tomorrow they're launching their pivoting razor. We don't know much more beyond that. It's just that it's a new pivoting razor, single edge. Anyhow, we'll link to Supply. So when they launch it tomorrow, all you got to do is click on that link and go right to their site. I'm sure it'll be on their start page. That's my guess. But yeah, launches tomorrow. The Supply pivoting razor. I don't know much about it. Single edge. I know for sure it's single edge and pivoting razor head. Anyhow, we'll have a link to Supply below where you can check it out. Tomorrow, April 8th, the Supply pivoting razor launches. Give it a look. Well, this week we have another Yaqi safety razor to show you. We previewed this razor in last week's Second Cup, and I finally have a chance to show it to you live on camera. A really, really unique looking razor. Stunning looks, unique looks in its own right, to be perfectly honest with you. And when I first saw this, I didn't know what to make of it. And then I started to do some online research, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Here it is, the Yaqi Bohemia 316 stainless steel adjustable base plate safety razor. Yeah, it's an adjustable base plate. You flip it from one side to the other to change the aggression level, much like the Rockwell 6S or the Rockwell 6C. But there's only one base plate with this razor, not multiple base plates. So you have two settings when you flip it from one side to the other. This I learned from other YouTubers out there, from HeikoShaves and also HeikoShaves, that this is an homage to the Bohin razor, the French Bohin razor that was manufactured during the 1930s. I think it debuted in 1936, 1937, something like that. And this razor is an homage to that. Looks very, very similar to it, especially the knurling on the handle and, of course, the comb. That comb is amazing, isn't that? Looks like a grill from a 1950s automobile, and it is a hole and post kind of configuration, but the cap and the posts, the holes are in the cap and the posts are in the reversible, the flip base plate. Let me show that to you right here. See that? The holes are in the cap, and the posts fit into those holes like so, okay? So you can kind of see that on the top of the cap right there where the holes go. And then you have two settings. You have side 1 and side 2. And side 1 is mild. Side 2 is a little more aggressive. Let me give you the specs on this. Again, the handle and razor head material, 316 stainless steel. The handle diameter is 13 millimeters or 0.512 inches. The handle length is 91 millimeters or 3.58 inches. This is just the regular stainless steel finish. They also have a vintage color finish from what I could see on the AliExpress product pages. The total weight of the razor, that is the cap, base plate, and handle, about 131 grams or 4.62 ounces. Yeah, a lot of heft here. Now, here are the blade gaps with the adjustable base plate. Side number one, and I think I can show this to you. Here's side number one here. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Okay, side number one. Let me see if I can zoom in on that so you can see and keep it in focus. Side number one has a blade gap of 0.95 millimeters. Side number two has a blade gap of 1.35 millimeters. Now that sounds like it's pretty aggressive. I've already had a shave with this. I've already done the review, and I found that side number one is wonderfully smooth and mild. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. For me, side one is a daily driver. Really, really terrific. I can do 2 to 3 passes and get a terrific, terrific shave. If I have, say, 2 to 3 days worth of beard growth, which is what I think I had in the review, if I recall correctly, you can start with side two, and side two will give you a little more growl to remove the majority of that whisker on that first pass. And then all you have to do is flip it to side one and complete your shave, which is what I did. Now, HeikoShaves pointed this out in his review. And again, my thanks to HeikoShaves, my thanks to Subi Shaves. We will link their videos below. And HeikoShaves pointed out that the aggression level, when you load the base plate to the cap, the base plate side, the aggression side, is going to be pointing up towards the cap. So there it is right there. Okay, side one, okay, points up towards the cap, and that is the aggression level set at side number one, or 0.95 millimeters. If you want to set it to aggression level number two, then you flip the plate, and side two now faces the cap. So the aggression level setting is always pointed up towards the cap, where with the Rockwell, it's the other way around. The Rockwell, you'll read the number on the base plate, on the underside of the base plate, and that's the aggression level. So for instance, when you read the aggression level here on the bottom as number one, number two is pointing up towards the cap. That's the aggression level, number two. So HeikoShaves did a great job in explaining that. And as I explained to Grace Chen and everyone at Yaqi, you need to put that on your product page so people know, so they can read that information there. Because I couldn't find it on the product page, and hopefully they'll include that. But a really, really smooth, wonderful shave with this. And I found that you could vary that angle a little bit because of this beautiful comb here to increase the efficiency or increase the smoothness, that sort of thing. This comb was absolutely wonderful. And again, it's an homage to the French-made Bohemia razor from the 1930s, which I think are pretty rare. I looked on some other discussion groups, and they were saying that it's a rather rare razor. You can't find them, and if you do find one, they're going to cost you a pretty penny from what I understand. But same kind of system where you're flipping the plate. Now, I don't know if the base plate is configured in the same way and how to set the aggression levels with the cap, with the base plate pointing up towards the cap. I'm not sure, but all I know is with the Bohemia razor, the aggression level is set by the base plate pointing up towards the cap, and that's your aggression level. So what we have here right now is we have plate number one. We have plate one being read on the underside of the base plate. So plate two is pointing up towards the cap. It'll be right next to the blade. That's the aggression level. We're aggression level 2. So I hope that makes sense to you, because this really was a wonderful, wonderful shave. I really enjoyed it. And again, plate number 1, daily driver for me. Plate number 2, a little more growl for 2 to 3 days worth of beard growth. This did a splendid job. A lot of heft, great feel in the hand, good build quality, stainless steel. Wow, what's not to love? This was a really, really terrific razor. And again, when I first saw this, I did not know what to make of this. And again, just a little research online from fellow YouTubers and also from some discussion groups, I learned a lot about it. So We'll get a link to HeikoShaves review. We'll also get a link to SubiShaves review, and we'll get some of the other links that I came across that explains this razor, the vintage razor, the Bohemia razor a little more in depth, so you can learn a little bit more about it. Another great aspect about the traditional wet shave, all this great history coming back in newer razors that are being produced using 21st century technology to bring back some of these vintage shaves. Bohemia being a very, very good example of that. So again, we'll link to the AliExpress page where you can read more about this particular razor. My thanks to Grace Chen and everyone at Yaqi for very kindly sending this one along to the channel and allowing me to share with all the viewers. The Bohemia razor from Yaqi, 316 stainless steel, an homage to the French-made Bohemia razor from the 1930s. Thanks again to Grace and everyone at Yaqi. Really do appreciate it. We'll have links below. And that wraps up this week's look at new wet shaving gear. My thanks to everyone who contributed. Really do appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Okay, let's check out some of these questions and comments. All right, this comes from Jim from Northfield. Now, last week we had a terrific review on Hendricks Classics and Company's James Bond Shave Soap and Splash by viewer Larry Sablotny, and I happened to comment that if you're going to use the shave soap and splash called James Bond, get yourself a vintage Gillette Slim from 1964, because Sean Connery uses a Gillette Slim in the movie Goldfinger from 1964 in a scene. I think it's actually, he doesn't use it as a razor. I think it's got like a homing device in there or something like that. I can't remember. I have to see, I gotta look at the movie again, but it's definitely a Gillette Slim. Now, I happen to mention, I have this J3 from 1964, so that coincides with the release year of the movie Goldfinger. And Jim pointed out some technicalities in the timeline regarding the razor that Sean Connery was using in the scene. And he writes, "Hey, Mark, I researched when the movie Goldfinger came out. It was released in the UK in September on the 17th of 1964. So the latest date code could only be a J1 or J2. It is a possibility the razor could have a date code of I42. I am not certain if there is any information regarding that razor. Just something to consider. Thanks as always for another great 3MB. Jim from Northfield." Yeah, Jim, this is a really neat point, because depending on when Sean Connery filmed that scene will tell you pretty closely when which date code or which year and quarter that Gillette Slim is from. It could be, if they started filming in January, it could be an I4, which means it's the fourth quarter of 1963. Hey, it could also be an H from 1962. We don't know. We don't know where they bought it. We don't know where they got it. I mean, hard to say. So I did a little research myself, and Wikipedia kind of has a timeline on when the movie was produced, and principal photography started on January 20th of 1964 in Miami Beach, but Sean Connery was not in Miami Beach. After they filmed scenes in Miami Beach, then they moved all the production back to England at the studios over there, and they filmed everything there, which is pretty neat. I never knew that. I thought they filmed a lot of it in Miami Beach, but they only did some principal photography in Miami Beach. So they were only there for 5 days, and then production returned to England, and the primary location for that was Pinewood Studios. And they recreated the hotel at Pinewood Studios and a lot of other things there, which was pretty amazing. I'll link to the Wikipedia article so you could read all this. And again, 1964 release date of the movie coincides with my 1964 Gillette Slim J3 razor. So I'm kind of going with that. But Jim points out here, I agree That's why I'm thinking it was a 1963 date code if filming started in January of 1964. The only other thought would be this: how long was the production and at what time frame did the scene occur? If that scene was filmed later than, say, February, March, etc., then it's a possibility it could be a J1 date code. I wish there was more information that was precise. I agree. It would be really neat to know a little more of the timeline. And maybe there's a production assistant out there who did copious notes and took a lot of detailed notes and actually noted the date code of the razor used in that scene. And Jim, that's a great point. When was that particular scene filmed? Was it filmed like at the very end of January, beginning of February, March? We don't know. How long was that movie, how long were they filming that movie, from January to when? That could tell us exactly, or closer to the date, what date code would most likely be on that razor. But yeah, it could be an I, it could be a J. I'm even thinking it could be an H. Maybe they went to a store and just grabbed one off the shelf and they got one from 1962 that's been in their back stock. Who knows? But it is a Gillette Slim, so I guess we're saying maybe if you use an H, an I, or a J, you're in the ballpark for using a razor which was used in Goldfinger starring Sean Connery. So if you get the Hendrix Classics and Company's James Bond Shave Soap and Splash, get yourself a vintage Slim. From 62, 63, or 64, you'll be in the ballpark and you'll have a real James Bond shave. So Jim, thanks again for a really, really fun, detailed look at the vintage Gillette Slim and Goldfinger from 1964. This email came from viewer Rodney Ripplinger, and he writes, "Hi Mark, I've been considering trying out a Japanese feather razor just to see if I could master one. I watched a video about them put out by one of the razor companies. The fellow who is demonstrating it said he liked the Japanese style razor better than other shavettes, like in the picture below. So I went searching for a good price on one. While at the Badger and Blade forum, I read a comment by someone who said that if you order one direct from Japan, they could be quite reasonably priced. I found quite a few sellers on eBay Japan. Here in the US, they are around $110 to $120. The one I ordered from Japan eBay was $55 with free shipping. I decided I would order a package of the mildest feather blades for it from Amazon. While I was looking at blades, I saw the other razor pictured, a Pfizer brand clone of the Feather SS. Now that's spelled F-E-I-S-I-E-R. I believe that's pronounced Pfizer. A Pfizer brand clone of the Feather SS. I had seen a YouTube video of a shave by someone who owned both razors. He tried them both out in a shave and said they both gave similar results. Of course, the build quality on the Feather is better. Since my Feather from Japan wasn't due to be delivered until April, I thought I might pick up the clone to practice with until April. It was only $11.99 on sale. To my surprise, my Feather was delivered on the 17th of this month. Only 11 days to get here. There was a bit of a learning curve with these, but already I think I'm getting the hang of it. They are a lot of fun to use to boot. Rodney, wow, that is really, really fascinating, Rodney. Again, let us know how your shaving adventure goes with this Feather, kind of a shavette, I think is what it is. However, Rodney clarified this in a follow-up email. I must tell you that in calling the Feather SS a shavette, I gave you the idea that it's a DE blade snapped type of device. Well, no, it uses the Artist Club 2-inch Schick type injector blade. The blades are the same ones used in other single blade Artist Club razors. I had ordered some of the Feather Soft Guard pink blades, which are supposed to be Feather's mildest blade. They have the Pro Guard feature, i.e. the vertical structures which hold the blade up a bit from the skin. Only thing is they have so many of those things that it almost looks like a hacksaw blade. Well, again, Rodney, you're going to have to share your experience with that. So there you go, folks. A different kind of, well, I'm going to call it a shavette or straight razor of sorts. The Feather SS Commissary style razor. And that's really not really a shavette. It is and it isn't, but it uses an artist club blade. So I think it probably mimics a straight razor a little more closely. If anyone out there has used this style of razor, please comment below and let us know what your experience with it has been. It looks really, really fascinating. Again, Rodney, please send along your shaving journey with this commissary style razor from Feather and let us know how your shaves go. Thanks very, very much for sharing this with all the viewers out there. And again, folks, if you've used the Feather SS Commissary style razor, please comment below and let us know. Rodney, thanks again very, very much. I received this email from viewer Matt Rose, and the subject heading reads, Arizona Meetup Shave Soap. And Matt writes, Hi Mark, I'm a huge fan of your content and look forward to your 3MB and Second Cup shows each week. Matt, thank you very, very much. I really, really do appreciate that. I was lucky enough to attend the Arizona Wet Shavers Meetup at Razor Emporium on February 22nd, 2025. The fine folks at Razor Emporium included a second 2025 Razor Emporium Meetup soap in the box of loot I acquired and bought at the meetup. If you don't have it, I would like to gift it to you if you would like it. Take care and keep up the great work. I said, absolutely. I would love to have it and share it with all the viewers out there. And here it is right here. He very, very kindly sent it to the channel. We talked about this on a previous Second Cup podcast. I don't know that it's available anymore. Hopefully the heads up that we gave about a week or so ago on Second Cup was enough to where if you wanted to try this, you could. Let me give you a breakdown on it right here. And say right here from the product page, it might not be up there. Experience this year's 2025 Razor Emporium Meetup Soap, a masterfully crafted scent blend that captures the essence of tradition, camaraderie, and adventure. This limited edition release is inspired by the spirit of men coming together to celebrate the love of wet shaving and the vibrant energy of our annual gathering. Here are the scent notes. Bay leaf, orange, clove, rustic wood and rum. And they give a breakdown here. Let me give you the breakdown. Bay leaf, a crisp herbal freshness that invigorates the senses. Orange, a bright citrus burst, adding a zesty twist to the composition. Clove, warm and spicy, bringing depth and sophistication. Rustic wood and rum, a rich, boozy warmth balanced with deep, woody undertones for a timeless finish. Each lather transports you to the heart of the wet shaving community, blending nostalgia with modern craftsmanship. With a luxurious cushion and slickness, this soap ensures an effortless, smooth shave every time. And it is a wonderful, wonderful scent. And my thanks to Matt Rose for very kindly sending this to the channel and allowing me to share it with all the viewers. Yeah, this is a nice one. But here's the thing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and if Matt Pisarsik is watching this, please, Matt, comment below and let us know. I think what happens is, after they get feedback on some of these Meetup shave soaps, they go ahead and take this and rebrand it and sell it on the Razor Emporium. And they make a note saying, hey, this is the Meetup shave soap from the 2025 Meetup, and we're rebranding it as such and such a name. I think that's what they do. So know that this is a great scent. And we have reviewed the Razor Emporium and Rec Supply shave soaps on the channel, and they're wonderful. They are wonderful. They really lather a treat. And I'm looking forward to using this scent. This scent is great. It really, really is. I'm already deciding what aftershave splash I'm going to use with this. I mean, it really is marvelous. Something citrus-based, because those citrus notes are coming through really, really well. and the bay leaf. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So hopefully you have it. If you were able to get it, if you attended the wet shaving meetup in Arizona, and you have this, please comment below. Let us know. Send in your own review if you'd like to do so, because I know a lot of viewers will be interested in it. And if anyone has the inside track on whether this is going to be released again under a new name, please comment below and let us know. Do I have that right? I'm not entirely sure. I seem to recall that they sometimes do that. I'm not entirely sure. And again, Matt, if you're listening, really would like some inside baseball on this if it's going to come out under a new name and with a note of, hey, this was the 2025 Meetup Shave Soap. So my thanks again to Matt Rose for very, very kindly thinking of the channel and sending along the extra tin of the Arizona Wet Shave Meetup Shave Soap. Matt, thank you again very, very much. And that wraps up another Monday Morning Mailbag. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below. Let me know. Check out all the wonderful artisan soap makers and sellers that you see displayed on the bottom of the screen right now. They make and offer some wonderful artisan shave soap. They also offer some wonderful wet shaving gear to enhance your traditional wet shave. The next time you're online, please take a moment, pay them a visit. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/MarkZerati, where you'll find all the Amazon listed products that I review on this channel, organized and categorized so you can find everything in a snap very easily. I'll leave you with this laugh. Hey, we have another double take cartoon puzzle this week. Try to find the differences between the two cartoon panels. If you need more time, just pause the video or try to find all the differences before time runs out. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Make it a great week.